Hey, welcome to MULLEN'S Stock. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. And also remember that this is not a financial advice video. So today was another interesting day for MULLEN. I'll give you an overview of some data points that came from the shorts and generally everything you should know. So MULLEN had a green day, reaching 5.28 largely because of what happened during the Tau days. I'll explain what that usually means, but overall, the volume was a bit lower, with only 40.8 million shares traded compared to the average of 72 million. There wasn't too much volatility, and the volume was low, especially considering the news that came in, which I'm about to tell you. It was quite positive, and I'd have hoped that more people would be buying in. So let me explain everything in detail for you. In case you're not aware, here's the news that came in. MULLEN Automotive receives EPA certificate for the commercial Class 3 EV vehicles. Typically, this is a good thing, a step in the right direction operationally, and it means they can start acquiring. But the more important thing is that now they can actually generate some much-needed revenue, which is a big plus. And I'll also tell you what Che_Che posted on Twitter. On the route, there are more containers, so I believe there must be frames and parts. It's clear that production is being ramped up, and now investors will have to see how much production they are actually achieving. So it's quite alright if they have brought in 8 containers. That's a very positive sign. This news that came out this morning may not be related, but it's still good news. Che has done a deep due diligence on this, and it seems that Bollinger has some pilot programs. Maybe some people are not aware of it, but they've explained everything thoroughly. So it looks like Bollinger has around 7 vehicles, based on the windshield numbers mentioned in the comment section. Who knows, maybe this will launch soon. Now I will provide you with some data points about options activity. So 152,000 calls and 126,000 puts have been purchased, indicating that people are optimistic about a potential upward trend, which is quite interesting. Today there is approximately 4,000 open interest at the 50-cent strike price, and around 10,000 open interest at the $1 strike price. So it's clear that many people are keeping an eye on it around the $1 mark by September 29th. So this is quite intriguing. This leads me to the point of what is causing all of this. Pop occurred here because it was the end of Friday, so the options from the previous week, which I believe were around 9,000 in open interest, were in the money and had to be exercised, and market makers needed to cover them. If you look closely at what happened last Monday, firstly, there was a very sudden pop, which may have been challenging for market makers to cover those options, and then it quickly dropped. I think based on the randomness behind this and the volume, it was bound to happen very soon, considering the 8,500 to 9,000 open interest options at the 50-cent strike price. One thing I want to tell you, which felt a bit strange to me, is that at 402, about 3 minutes before the market close, there was an abnormal transaction. It seems that just before and after that, it was around 55 cents, and then it randomly dropped to 51 cents. So it's very likely that it was a sell order for 600,000 shares, with a routing code of 795. And I've mentioned before that 795 is associated with RBC. So again, this is a bit strange because I remember that last Thursday, the stock price was around 53 or 54 cents after hours, and then a random transaction occurred at 51 cents. For some random reasons below the bid, and once again it was for RBC at that time. I think there were only 500,000 shares, while now there are 600,000. But something is happening with RBC, and I recall that around this time last week or in the past few weeks, RBC purchased a significant number of shares in MULLEN. If I remember correctly, it was around 26 million shares. But yes, please tell me if you think RBC is doing these random transactions. It's feeling a bit strange. Today I'll give you a brief overview of the shorts. As you can see, the short score is currently at 79, with a utilization rate of 80.91%. Today, shorts have covered 1.19 million shares, which is approximately 18.84% of the free float. In total, there are 32.81 million shares shorted, with an average cost to borrow of 24.15%. It's clear that there are approximately 2.4 million shares available for shorting if needed. I interpret this information as follows. When they return some shares on a green day, it suggests they might be anticipating some positive news. However, I believe the ultimate reason for this might be that there were simply no buyers for those shares for some reason. Similarly, the next thing people are genuinely interested in knowing is how many vehicles have been produced from August 21st until now. This would give them an idea of potential revenue and realistic targets. I think people will keep a close eye on this in the coming days. But for today, there were some secondary market transactions, including a few over $100,000. There were approximately 4 transactions, with one being $1.51 million, the second $558, the third $558, and the fourth $375,000. Additionally, there were some transactions that occurred in the dark pool, with only 2 transactions being over $100,000. So what's your perspective on today? Do you think the stock should have closed higher or lower? What's your opinion on this matter? Keep in mind that, especially in the early part of the day, the market was quite bearish. So I think Mullen might have gone against that trend, which might explain the lack of buyers. Who knows? What's your take on all of this? Guys, that's all we have for you today. What is your opinion about Mullen stock? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.